Hello, and welcome along to episode 5 of the Chronicles. Today's episode is quite simply entitled Peoples. Wants to tell us what happened last episode? Oh, no one.
If you could tell me how it started, I could probably go off of that.
All right, Josh. It started. It started with us essentially entering the outskirts of the city and the impoverished people.
Okay, yeah. So we entered the city.
Did you?
Well, we entered the lower district of it, shall we say? Oh yeah. And we met with like a bunch of kids. We played football with them. We got fed some stew, some spicy stew, and
you know what happened, John.
Yes. But I destroyed one of their footballs. I also robbed their oranges. And then we went on our merry way, right, into the main part of the city.
We met someone.
You were taken into the city.
Oh yes, we were escorted by a guy who was going to sell us to the other guy who has a bunch of animals, but then the animal guy was too afraid of us. He was like, get them away from us.
Well, I think they more realize that we are
Zara, that's it.
Yeah, we're like thinking, feeling peoples and not, animals. And so he let us loose in the city. I bought a necklace and figured out how currency works, sort of. And then we got some food, we got some kebabs, we went to the local tavern. Well, we were kind of shooed there by a random woman who was like, go sit on a bench with your food. And so we did. We got some ale. And we lots of people were looking at us. People were coming outside to look at us. So the bard came outside to play, and then the fairies were staring at us, and they were mimicking our speech. But we couldn't figure out if they actually understood us or if they were.
You figured out that they did not understand.
Yeah, they were just copying us, word for word. And then that fairy, that female fairy with the rapier, she showed us a possible vision of us being found out by that grumpy orc, and the fact that we stole all their belongings. And then we had the age-old conversation of property again and how that works. And then we had some wine, and then that was it. And then we saw the harbor, and we were like, should we flee? Should we go back to our boat? And then I think that was it.
No, the lady hasn't screamed or she did.
Wait, what?
Do you see the lady? Do you remember her? Do you remember?
She was on the table next to you and
led us to a safe place.
Yes, she took you to somewhere.
Remember, you were asking for a safe place?
Yes, like a hostel, and gave us a room. Right?
That might have been like a
sort of maybe an underground hostel is the impression I got.
This is the building. This one here.
Not underground.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, exactly that. Yes.
Underworld hostel.
Yeah, she definitely took you to somewhere that was a bit secretive. And effectively allowed you to stow away. And the name of the place was Zanru's place.
Yes.
And this is Zanru. He was willing to look after you. And you were given a key to your little area. That's your little room. And that, after a long rest, is where we... Well, maybe after a long rest, we're not sure, is where we ended.
Yeah.
When we resume, it can either be 8 o'clock in the evening or the morning. It's up to you. I see no reason for it to be 8 o'clock in the evening, but if you want
to... Does anyone have anything to do in the evening time?
I mean, other than talk about what we're doing, we can do that in the morning as well.
Yeah, okay. So, come morning, you're woken fairly early by the sound of it. Wow, that attacked. You are woken up by the sounds of lots of movement in the house and people doing things and the chattering of youngsters. Yeah, that's going on. All that's going on. Probably about 7 o'clock, maybe 6.
My head hurts.
Ah, yes, it does. A lot.
Go.
But not as much as you, the player, might expect. At first you feel a little bit groggy and a little bit bored. You sort of shake your head, and after a few moments you can really detect no ill effect. Drinking.
Really?
I think that means do it again.
I think that means I have a new best friend.
I think maybe it means they sold us a bunch of watered down booze because they know that we're nobodies.
He was definitely worse for wear last night.
That's true.
But not feeling too rough this morning.
Can I? Because I know that we've got a neighbor, right? We've got at least one neighbor.
There are people in the other rooms, yes.
Yeah, next to us.
Sure.
Yeah. So can I try and listen out, like maybe put my head to the wall to see if they're in there, if I can hear people in there?
Yeah, I mean, you put your ear to the wall and you can hear that most people are downstairs.
Interesting.
But it seems to be downstairs.
I'd like to leave the room.
Moreover, strangely, this seems to be a den within a den. Surrounded by other dens.
Huh?
He's not wrong.
Look, I know it's very clandestine, and but I have no idea what you mean by a den within a den within a den.
So your room is like a full den, if you will, but the building you're in is also a den. And then
I'm
you're
just
surrounded by
that,
other
like,
dens. I think
as critters, have we ever had like rooms within buildings, or like
you
sort of, like, units
yes, but not to
within...
sleep in. So you might have had like the town hall might have a few separate rooms, or like even the little tavern and stuff in town. But when it comes to sleep, you just have a room
of like a unit within a larger building itself.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Are you going to allow Cooper to leave the room alone?
I'm coming with.
Where's everybody? What are we trying to even do here? I mean, what's the goal here, guys?
Joe asking existential questions that the DM has been having for 2 episodes now. What are we trying to do now?
We're exploring.
Munch makes a good point. Besides breakfast.
Well, it's
that
really
was
just a
my
matter of
answer.
and I sort of have the big C map, that I got before, and just sort of, I guess I'm just wondering. I mean, I don't know if there's maybe all these other ones that empty. For all I know, they're the same. Maybe they're all completely different. I don't know how long we want to. Are we just gonna try to find out everything we can possibly find out about every single one we go to, or what's the goal exactly?
Were we not trying to follow Kef initially?
But only because he represented that there was a world out there. I don't know that we're like best buds with Kef. I guess it's up to you as an individual, but
I don't think I'm pretty sure that you would understand that finding Kef would be very, very unlikely, given you have 2 pieces of information. He sailed east, and he's human. Like that's all you got.
But we did figure out his name is Kef.
You do know his name's Kef, but
I'm not gonna go around asking everyone.
Exactly. You know Kef?
Well, it could even be that now that's clear to us. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a ton of these people, Kefs. No, they're not Kefs now, but whatever they are. And so it might be impossible, even if that's what we thought. we were after. I don't know.
I suppose you're
Well,
right.
we do have our original reasons as to why we went.
Boulderbush, you're the
On
only
the
one that left with a
boat.
sensible reason for like to continue exploring, though. The other three were like to find out what's on the other side.
Yeah. I would say Boulderbress is the only one, probably with intentions of like going back to Chimvaya as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think also Boulderbush, right? You wanted to make sure that these, to learn as much as you could about these people to make sure they're not a danger to Chimvaya, correct?
And they are.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, if they ever go that way, yeah.
That's what I assume. If they ever find Chimvaya, like Chimvaya's gone.
They'll build
And
a
so,
cabin.
yeah.
And
Well,
under
they'll
a
build a
spell, I
tavern
pointed
and-
the direction to our island last time.
Yeah, I was drunk at the time, so I
Spell drunk, actual drunk.
They're
yeah.
also just two fairies as well.
Yeah.
Well, now that you mentioned it, Munch, what is the nearest, the second nearest land? Your home.
This one would be pretty close.
We have to roll that.
I'm getting there.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You are currently in Zerkantha. Oh, Diego's already in the ocean. Okay, there we go. Which is down here. You'll forgive me by admitting that I have not prepped above this line.
Yeah, sure.
Thought that was quite enough.
Well, you've prepped all the way over to the right.
I know
as well.
what the places are like.
I want to go to
I
the
got to.
frozen.
Okay,
I got to
What
the
would
throne of
be-
I don't-
Nessus.
The relative
let's
size
not
of
go to the
Chimvaya.
throat of Nessus.
Throne of Nessus and the pits of cold tongue might be a bit
dude.
bad for you guys.
Yeah, I'm good.
How big would Chimvaya be compared to these various landmasses?
About the same size as Konovic.
Where's that?
I'm drawing
Oh,
around
there.
it. Yeah.
They're up there.
Yeah, there.
Rubbish.
Okay.
That's about the
Only
size of
slightly
Chimvaya.
bigger. Only slightly bigger than the Isle of Kurak.
Indeed.
Yeah. So this next
But remember that Chimvaya would feel smaller because so much of it is taken up by the root, by the tree.
Forest.
Right. So the single what do we call the thing between the roots and the branches?
trunk.
Thank you. The word just will not come. The trunk is so wide that quite a lot of the island is, you can't go in the trunk, so it's inaccessible, right? You build up into the branches, so maybe in some ways Chimvaya's a lot bigger because you guys have lots of height to your land, but yeah. And
that's
you
more
have
the
been the length of Iraq, half of the breadth. You've not been to the west of the island. Ironically, because that's where Cooper wanted to go right at the beginning, and nobody ever went there. We never got there.
We could go.
We have to
It's
avoid
our
the
duty to
pirates.
explore the entire island, but yeah.
I mean, it's just if there's this many people just on one side of this one little island, that's whatever. There's this whole next piece is gigantic. I kind of want to make sure we know what's going on.
It's a good idea. As in, maybe getting a fresh start where nobody wants the bag. Where we're at. Nobody wants. We haven't found a bag, and then nobody wants the bag, and everything's okay.
I want the bag.
I know. No. You can have the bag.
We've got
You can
them
have
all
this
already.
bag, but then we don't go to a new place and find a new bag and take that bag, and then
Well, what if
there's
it's a better
people
bag?
that also. Well, if there's another bag, then we move on. We keep moving until we find a place with no bags. This place is very big.
If that place exists, I don't want to go.
Perhaps we ask around Zerkantha today. Find out what's best in next destination.
Okay.
Yes.
When
Good
you head
luck
downstairs
asking.
towards, go on.
Yeah.
Are we not heading downstairs anymore if we changed our mind?
I didn't want to.
Oh. You said I leave the room. What next?
Yeah,
Oh no,
Wanna-
where are we going?
you know where I'm going.
No, I don't. Where are we going? Why are we going there?
I want to try and lock pick the neighbor's room.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You have your lockpicks. So give me a thieves' tools check as you go next door.
Okay. That's an 18.
Cool. You unlock the door. And when you open it, there are 4 pallets, much like your own. There are some blankets on the pallets. There's a smell, like a bit of a perfumey smell. Quite a sweet scent to Cooper's nose.
I will follow the smell.
No, it's just hanging in the air in the room.
Oh, okay.
You also see a very small window looking out. And in the corner is a sort of basket full of clothing.
I will start rummaging through the clothing. What kind of clothing is there?
It's all girls' clothing. These girls are probably between 3 and 4 foot tall. That's what I've got for you. That's the whole.
Is it like dresses?
There are a couple of dresses. There are also some, some skirts and tops, and even a couple of pairs of simple pants.
I would like to try one of the dresses on.
Okay. You can't walk in it. You're not tall enough, so it droops down and basically gets in amongst your feet.
Could I use my dagger to try and cut some of the fabric off?
Lovely. Yeah, of course you can. You can cut one dress down to size. This dress is a sort of purple dress with little bits of gold sewing up the side.
I will pick up the bit of fabric that I've cut off and throw it out the window.
Okay.
And then I'll leave the room.
Okay. And as you come out of that room, you heading back past your room now?
Yeah, I'll just merge in with everyone else going downstairs like nothing happened.
So those of you who are not called Cooper, turn around and see Cooper wearing a kef dress.
Did you buy that, did you?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Give me a deception check, Cooper.
That's a 19.
Bought it and then slashed it to pieces. Who knows?
I bought it like this. It was on discount because it was ripped.
Love that we know the idea of a discount.
Barely learned about buying that.
Yeah. You may head downstairs. And when you arrive downstairs, like a lot of things, get you back in Sanders. Oops. When you come downstairs, there are lots and lots of children. At this, there's a very long table. And at the head is Xanra and Maisie. Maisie is sort of still surrounded in her customary cloud of smoke as she smokes on her pipe. What did we decide that you guys call it? Shisha pipe? No.
Hookah.
Hookah is the name for you guys. Yeah, cool. Xanra is currently in the kitchen preparing food. And all along the table are mostly... there's a lot more girls than boys. But there are some boys too. And they're all sat sort of kneeling up on the benches around this long table. And they are in a very involved game with a single glass marble that they are rolling up and down the table, with little markers on the table that they're trying to roll it onto. But as soon as Cooper comes down, the girls sort of and then let out a burst of laughter.
Is Cooper wearing a dress similar to these girls?
No. They are all wearing brown.
Oh, okay.
They are all wearing simple brown, like long tunics, okay, with white pants underneath. Sort of white, very loose linen pants. And as boys and girls alike, this is like day wear. that you're wearing something to go out in. And a couple of the girls sort of exclaim and point, and then one comes over and sort of lifts up the bottom of the dress and sort of runs her finger along the ripped hem. And yeah, they just seem delighted by the ridiculousness of this.
Sure. I don't think Cooper really has a good concept of what should be worn by boys or girls. I think he just liked the color of the fabric.
Oh, yeah,
so to him, he's very confused as to why they're all laughing at him.
They don't find it funny that you're a boy wearing a dress. They find it funny that you're a duck wearing a dress.
Sure.
Let's be real here, okay?
The only reason they're not mad is because you're a duck.
Exactly.
These guys are wearing clothes.
Yeah, they're quite amused by the fact that you're wearing, also that you're wearing their clothes, right? They're not stupid.
Yeah.
They know it's come from their room. They don't seem at all bothered by this fact. And Maisie sort of comes over and exclaims at the hem of the dress and sort of goes away and comes back with a little sewing kit. And if you'll let her, Cooper, she's going to pick you up and sit you on the edge of the table.
Okay.
And she's going to then begin to sew a hem back on this dress so that it fits you but also isn't got a ripped bottom.
Yeah, I'll sit there looking very content with life.
Yeah, great. For the rest of you, when you come down, Zanru will gesture you to sit down. And pretty soon we'll come and offer you some food. It's a very simple fare. It's porridge that seems to be spiced, maybe cinnamon-esque, with a sort of hard piece of slightly sweetened bread, unleavened bread, flat bread, that goes with it, and that's breakfast to everyone. There is no exception. Both Zanru and Maisie are also eating the same thing. And at the end of breakfast, Zanru goes away and he comes back and he gives each of you a little book is a strong word. It's like a book, but the pages feel a bit more solid, almost oily in texture, a lot thicker. It's a very, very cheap book, basically. But it's blank. There's nothing on any of the pages. And then he gives you a small piece of charcoal. I know Cooper sold about 57 pieces from the basket before, but he doesn't know that. He gives each of you a piece of charcoal and a blank book. And you will notice that all of the boys and girls have gone upstairs and come back with a blank book that's not so blank. Some of theirs have things written on the pages. And they're all sat round the table. And I'll take an insight check from all of you, please.
Poor much.
23.
No.
Bless.
Yeah. So this is just simply showing the different types of educations that you would have had growing up. Diego, you were probably educated amongst your brothers and sisters. It would have been much more verbal teaching. There probably weren't so many specific written lessons. You might then have been taught by reading, but there's not much to write on except for chalk tablets. And the foxes never did like the chalk tablets because it gets in their fur. Boulder much the same. I would imagine a similar upbringing, maybe a bit more rough and tumble, a bit more talking and gaming than actually, writing and stuff. Munch and Cooper, you probably attended the more large-scale lessons that are for many different of the critters on the island. They tended to look a little like this. Lots of people sat around the table learning from one teacher. And Maisie sets her pipe to the side, and she begins by pointing to the table. Very slowly, looking around and asking different children what it is. And they all know it's table, and you can learn table. And then she will point to the book, and she will slowly write out the word table, and everybody else can copy. And when you see her writing, you know that the letters aren't that different to your own. And there is obviously some kind of historical background where the alphabets were once the same, they have differed enough now that you would have to learn. And it's not like the difference between Spanish and French. It's definitely the difference between Spanish and Arabic, but at least some of the letters are formed in the same way. For as many days as you like, for as long as you like, you can attend these classes. But you are able to draw things, write things, etc. And ask what they are. Maisie is quite obviously a teacher, and one of the first things she will teach you is that she is people. And kids are children people. And you are people, but people different people. And she will draw a beautiful illustration of a dragonborn, a Tabaxi, and of Cooper, and of Diego, and of a female human child. And each one of them she'll point to and say people. Then she says human, Tabaxi, dragonborn, Kalishtar, and she points to you, and pretty soon you're going to learn the phrase, I don't know. That might come in useful, because there's lots of things you guys don't know.
Do they make like the...
Mm-hmm. I don't know. So maybe that's it. You now know that hand gesture is part of the word. Or not. But yes, I mean, over the course of at least a couple of hours, those of you who are interested in doing so can learn plenty of different ways of expressing yourself. This might be a good reason for you not to leave Zerkantha too soon. I am more than happy to either just roleplay the second half of the day, or skip a few days, depending on what you prefer, but this will be your in to learning the language I'm going to communicate. But this day, lessons end about 12:30, at which point a very simple stew with a flatbread again, but not sweetened this time, will be served. And again, all the children eat the same thing. And Maisie will begin over lunch to try and explain to you that the older people who were... She sort of draws a family, you know, a mum, a dad, and a child. And she describes the older people as mum and dad, and then tells you that none of these children have a mum or dad. You know, they've either been lost in fighting, but you don't really understand. Like you understand they were either dead, or they left, or they were eaten. Exactly. So you're in an orphanage. Not so much
stole a bag.
Not so much an underworld hostel. When you said that, I was like, "Oh, that's so cute, but so wrong." Yeah. Cora basically just thought you'd be safe at the orphanage because you're basically like lost kids. That's
well,
how
to be fair, Xandru doesn't exactly look like the normal, typical orphanage leader. Like he looks like the Thief King orphanage leader.
Does he look particularly? He does have one of those sort of sly hand looks. But he's just a tiefling, you know. Tieflings can be cool too. You might get the impression that he grew up as an orphan, and that's why. Maybe he is a little bit rough. He's definitely a protector. For these kids, and you know, he has walked around with daggers at his hips, so there is an element of thief roguiness to him. If I don't open the window soon, I'm going to melt into my chair. Give me a second.
I would say Xandru is making Boulder Breast feel things he's never felt before.
Boulder Breast still thinks.
Again, I said I think Xandru is making Boulder Breast feel things he's never felt before.
Oh yeah. He's quite a pretty little tiefling, isn't he? Pleasing piece of art. Oh, I can pop it on the screen. There you go.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
Cool. Yeah. So after lunch, the children go out, and they're gonna walk all the way to the out part of town. And go and join in the games of the outskirts kids. Leaving you to be free to do what you want.
Because we've sort of been talking amongst ourselves enough about like needing to be a little surreptitious about the stuff we have, I think it's reasonable to think I would be a little bit sneaky about it. So in other words, I'm going to try to give them some money, but I'm not revealing that we have huge amounts of money. but I have at least a few coppers that I was given the other day, and like maybe after lunch. But like, you know, we've basically been like learning that you give people money and when they give you stuff to eat, and now they've given us something to eat twice, and also something way better than that. And I'm like trying to explore like what these relationships are. So probably not able to talk about it at all yet after one morning's lesson, but kind of just like
Maisie or Xanru?
maybe Maisie. And probably Maisie because she's been the one teaching us.
Yeah, and she definitely seems quite gentle and quite caring, and she no, child, no. That is... Xanru, come to the market. Tell them what to do with their coins. And she'll point at them and she'll sort of copper, silver, gold. And she'll sort of draw you out a picture of the markets, the bazaars that you went to before, and she'll tell you that's called markets. And Xanru is going into town, and he will... you come? And he's asking this time, and you've now learned that there's a big difference between you go or you come and question, you know? Do you want to go? Do you want to join us? And he's basically offering to protect you on a trip into town into the markets.
I don't know why they're doing this for us, but everybody around here seems to want stuff, and I don't know. But should we go back to the town? I don't know. What do you think?
Perhaps they are just nice.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, maybe we can try and come up with, I don't know, some way to, you know, help them or return some of, you know, that. Maybe we teach them our language.
Well, they don't seem to want it, but yeah, maybe.
And that way, if it, maybe not actually, because then if it spreads the idea of a critter language, yeah, let's not do that. Now, scrap that idea. I'm not keen on that idea.
And I'm a little bit lost for exactly the way I would say it, but I think it would be pretty clear that like I'm having trouble making it not come off like I'm so sweet and I want to be nice. It's not really about like, oh, I feel like we need to pay them back. It's more like
reciprocation. Like
what is how do these people deal with each other? Like what makes them, you know, kind to each other or not? Yeah.
And thus far there has been no logic to it. And as you guys are heading into the market, a couple of men riding a camel. Well, they're not riding one camel, they're riding a camel each. Start to sort of come in behind you, and Xanru ushers you to the side. I would imagine it's quite daunting for you to see. I mean, humans are big enough as they are, right? To then see them riding, very tall and very large. These camels are quite big, you know, and you don't come up much beyond the legs of the camel. So it's quite an intimidating thing having them come in quite quickly behind you. Xanru is going to lead you to a couple of market stalls. He points towards one stall which is selling what seems to be small pastries. And he will point to different pastries and tell you that they are 1 copper each. And then at another one, he shows you some boiled sweets, which are also 1 copper each. And finally, he takes you to what appears to be a toy shop. I don't know whether I want to tell Cooper this. But there are lots of those animal skin footballs. There are... I'm not going to open them all and find out what's inside.
No, if there's nothing in the first one, there's nothing in the others.
Oh, good. That's great. I just need to... Each time you
I
go...
I can't apply that logic for everything, but I can at least with the football.
Okay, well, I was hoping. But yes, you will see lots of... You'll see the marble that the girls are rolling along the table. Lots of other silly little toys. There's one that will definitely catch Munch's eye, because it is a squirrel, an actual squirrel. It's not a squirrel folk. It's definitely a squirrel, but it's on a stick, and if you shake the stick, the squirrel climbs it. It's a little wooden toy, but it would definitely catch your eye as, oh, that looks a bit like me. You are the only creature that is. You are the only critter that is like a creature that is actually on this island. There are squirrels somewhere on Karak. The island, yes. Once he's shown you a few little things, he is going to sort of gesture and he will say, I go. If you want, you can come or not. He sort of shrugs his shoulders. You don't have to follow him, but he is going to a stall that he's pointed to. In the market, it's a little way down and across, and it looks to be a weapons market, if you will. There are lots of daggers and swords and swords hanging from the walls. Lots of different size and shaped nails.
So many nails.
Yes. Well, no.
Hearing this, he sort of, no, weapons. And then he shows you dagger and club, and I don't know if he'd know that to call it a staff. I think he just called it a stick. But those of you wielding staves. But he will definitely convince you that they're not nails.
Diego will pull out his book
Mm-hmm.
and sort of flip over to the pages that he knows have spells written in them.
Okay.
Sort of like look up at Zanru.
He comes over and sort of looks at the book and he sort of gestures you to turn the book over upside down. You would know that's wrong. He looks at it again and I don't know. He has no concept of a spell in a spell book at all. He just no idea what he's looking at. He just knows there are no words and all the runes look a bit weird.
Perhaps I will cast something for him.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna, being a little annoyed, I'll probably shoot him a mind sliver, give him like a sharp sort of stare, like, "Are you fucking serious, bro?" And he'll have to make an intelligence saving.
Okay. He will not.
Hopefully he succeeds. No.
He will not succeed.
But he'll feel the effect. Oh, he will not succeed.
Yeah.
Well, he'll only take 1 damage.
And he points to the book and he points to you. You. Oh.
Yeah.
Not child.
Person.
Yes, but you will get bigger?
I'll look over at my friends.
Do you think that the size of a person is...
You're very quiet, Rico.
Sorry, I'll look at my friends and sort of ask,
Does he think that size of a person is important?
I thought he's asking if you were gonna climb.
I'll look at Xandru and just shake my head.
Oh. Right. And he now realizes that he's taken 4 fully grown adults into his little into his little kid orphanage. It's like, right, but you learn from the classes. Okay. We keep you. And he sort of pats you on the shoulder. And he points over and I go to the weapons. You come?
Okay.
When you go in, you will see a veritable host of different weapons, sparkling and shiny. You will see that he is actually looking to buy a new hilt for his dagger. He hands over his dagger, and they sort of actually remove the below the crosspiece. They remove the entire sort of covering for the hilt, and they re-wrap it in new leather. I have no idea what you guys would purchase in a place like this. But there are lots and lots of shiny, spangly, daggery things.
I mean, Boulderbreast could probably pick up.
Yeah, is there anything that Boulderbreast might find interesting in here? Well, you could also pick up a sword.
I could pick up a sword. I think a sword scares me.
Yeah, okay.
I
Hand
But all those
axe?
other All those other people have them.
Yeah, I know, but I
Then they must be useful for something. If everyone carries one around.
The typical sword
They
here
look
is
like
actually a scimitar. It's a curved blade, often used for slashing from camelback.
they'd be useful for chopping up stuff like food and stuff, but like I don't need a big thing to chop up food and stuff. Like
You still
I can
have
just
sizable
borrow
plants.
Cooper's dagger. You know what I mean? I just don't know what it's used for. I got my big thick stick. You know what I mean? That like that's good, right? It just seems I'm just scared. Just it's a very big, sharp instrument. That's another big word.
All those people on the beach that we saw in the vision, they had those.
They had those. I
they
don't
come
know if
after
that's
us.
me. I'm happy with my big whacking stick.
Me too.
Maybe something. Maybe I can buy something that whacks better. I don't.
So if it is in the player's handbook in equipment, it's available in this shop. In terms of weapons, so you could pick up a great club, a maul. You could pick up a war hammer. You could pick up a light hammer. You could pick up a mace. I don't know if morning stars exist in India.
I was gonna say a morning star would be cool.
I think it would just be classed as a mace, but you can use it.
Morning stars are spiky though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit.
They're pointy. I don't know. They're frightening. I think maybe a warhammer. I don't have the money because I started with 5 copper in the day, and I got a baked treat and a boiled sweet. So I'm down to 3.
I gave you 10 gold though.
Yes.
You did. You gave me 10 gold. You gave me 10 copper.
10 gold. I gave everyone 10 gold.
That's news to me. That's very good.
I'm pretty sure you said
have hundreds of gold, by the way.
You do,
No, definitely.
Yeah, you gave us copper.
Because I only got gold. Because I got like 80 gold from.
No, you got change at one point. Oh no, you did get 80 gold change. Hey, you're right.
Oh yeah. You've been overpaying for that boiled sweet.
It's 1 gold, 5 silver.
For the warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
1 gold, 5 silver.
At this point, you might actually realize as players quite how rich you are. As a reminder that in the entire world of Mazraya, the prices are divided by 10.
Oh my.
So a healing potion will be 5 gold, for example. A standard healing potion. So you have a lot of money, and that necklace was kind of expensive.
It looks really nice, though.
It's pretty. It goes well with your dress.
Yeah.
You need to find
I get a war.
duck in purple dress.
I have.
Oh, where?
Although it doesn't have a necklace, to be fair.
Oh my god, you've got smaller and way more feminine.
Well, yeah, you can't put cute little duck in a purple dress without becoming a girl, so.
Oh, dear.
Is this malachite bracelet that we found in the treasure trove worth anything either?
Is it? Do you want to try and sell it to the jewelers?
No, I quite like the way that it looks on my red fur.
You're wearing it?
Oh yeah.
I haven't realized that. That's cool.
That's cursed.
No, it's sure as hell not cursed. I mean, it's kind of cursed, I guess, in its own way. But it is not magical. Diego did ascertain that information.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, it means the pirates.
It's just
now.
recognized.
It just belongs to someone. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
Could
I never
a
really
sling?
said that I put it on.
Yeah, my bad.
Your fur covers it.
People aren't looking at the wrists of foxes these days to work out what they're wearing. Sorry, Josh, you
No.
said?
Sorry, could I buy a sling?
Yeah, of course you can.
I like to think it's more like a
Slingshot.
Thank you. Yes, that word.
Yeah. It's 1 copper piece.
Yep.
You will also need to buy some bullets.
Yep.
Bear with me on that. On the wrong page. No, I just need to type something new. Ammunition. Bullets. Oh. They come as modern bullets? No, that's not what I'm looking for. What do you fire with a thing?
Sling bullets.
Yeah,
Sling
they call
bullets,
them
yeah.
sling bullets.
Oh, they're just not on
Rock.
D&D Beyond at all. You just can throw rocks. Okay, cool.
No, they are. I've
Where?
added them as ammunition. They're just called sling bullets.
Oh, okay. That's because they're going to be under S. Okay. I could stop.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. You can buy 10 for 4 copper pieces. 20,
Okay.
20, I think it is, sorry. Yeah,
Okay, I'll give him 1 gold piece. How much change do I get? Because I've only got gold pieces. I've not got any change.
9 silver and 5 copper.
9 silver, 5 copper. Thank you.
Does he have that much change?
Xander is
Yeah,
absolutely...
just
The
took all
market
his
guy
change.
does, but Xander is flummoxed by the fact you have gold pieces. Absolutely mind blown. And when he sees you take the warhammer, he does look a little perturbed. Perturbed?
What?
Perturbed. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know what perturbed is. It's one of James's new words. Yes,
Do we know the word
perturbed.
why?
Yeah, you can ask why.
I grab Warhammer and I look at him and then I circle face it. Why?
You are fighter.
And then I get my shield and then I put my shield over my friends.
As soon as you take out your shield in that manner, he realizes it's not a cooking pot. Or at least it's not just a cooking pot. And he starts to realize that, because Cooper having a dagger just seemed like he had a sharp implement to poke things, right? And you having a stick didn't really... You could have used it to walk. Like, he's only just realizing that you're kitted for combat. He's got magic spells. Your dagger actually stabs people. And now you've got a warhammer and a huge shield. He's getting a very different view of you all. And fighters, soldiers. Hey. Perhaps you help. And then he will finish paying the man. And then, yes, you will understand help. And then he's going to take you all to a very tall building, sort of 4 or 5 stories. And you haven't seen many of these beyond 1 or 2 stories yet, except for what's above the markets. This is like a building of its own that looks a bit like a tower. And when you enter, it is very, very quiet. Going to Diego lead you specifically up to side. There is this you'll notice there are lots and lots of books in it. And he is going to lead you to a woman who is stood behind a sort of desk or counter. And she has lots of tomes behind her, and he gestures towards your book and then points at her.
I will, assuming that he trusts her, I will present the book and show the pages with.
Whole book. I have one. She scurries off and she opens a chest and digs through it and she pulls out this beautiful. It's like it's a book with a dark blue cover and a silver star drawn onto it, very elegant.
Ooh.
She opens it and you will see that it is a spell book. It has spells in that you can.
Do I recognize any of the spells? Like, are there any common?
Oh, that's good. We're gonna have to do a comparing journey. Burning Hands, color spray.
No.
There's grease, ray of sickness, silent image.
So most of these I've not seen.
Caustic brew, and then it goes to level 2 spells, which you don't have access
to. Well, as long as I've seen one of the spells that I immediately recognize it as similar to mine.
Sort of speaks to him, and you can, insight check with your intelligence, please, Diego.
just roll history because it's the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
22.
Yeah, you work out very quickly that Xanru is asking if he might procure that book for you. And
I will nod. I will nod eagerly.
And then she asks for 2 gold pieces. And he sort of looks horrified and offers her 5 copper. And she is very adamantly saying 2 gold or nothing. Xanru sort of despairs.
It's nothing to Diego, I don't think. He'd offer up to 2 gold pieces. He has them.
Xanru sort of looks at you again and more surprising. See. He will take your 2 gold pieces and hand it to her, and she will give you the spell book. I'm assuming you now want that list again.
Sure.
Yeah, let me just...
The mic is doing a good job of not catching all the typing, so it just sounds like you're typing really slowly, like a crazy old man. Hey.
Oh, dear. Those are the level 1.
Takes him 2 minutes. He spells book.
Yeah.
Only goes up to level 2 spells. Oh. Really, I've missed the P by 1. I've written Skubbix Snowball Storm. I don't know who he is. Skubbix.
It's just his version.
Those are the second level
Skubbix
spells.
is a good name.
Who's Snillock?
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's his Snowball Storm in D&D. Yeah, those are the. It's all first and second level spells.
I believe it's Collins backward.
Is that a reason though? Like,
I think there's some of the original characters
like
where
this-
people gave themselves stupid names like that.
oh, okay,
Like
because
a
I
lot
know
of
that,
these
like,
things
Like
are.
Gygax's crew or
Yeah,
whatever.
right. A lot of the
Yeah.
early players, their characters' names are the names of the spells.
Yeah.
Well,
like
and not only
Mel.
that, they then became legendary characters within the
Right.
the Forgotten Realms world. So you've got
Canon.
Mordenkainen, for example, or
Yeah.
Otterluke, Leomund, Melf. These are all
Bigby.
very famous
Melf.
wizards, Bigby, exactly, that get written about in all the Forgotten Realms lore and books.
Tasha,
But I've never heard of Snillock. No, Tasha is a bit different.
a newer one.
No, she's a godlike being or something, not a wizard.
Isn't Tasha like Igliv? Like the...
She's the daughter of Baba Yaga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
She's
okay.
a clever hag.
Yeah.
Because of
She's a hot
Tasha's
hag.
scourgeon of everything, like much like Xanathar, they're more.
Well,
Jesus.
Diego was very happy with his new book. Interestingly, does it function similarly? Like he would try. I know it doesn't. The player does, but he would try
I have
to.
no idea, Rico. I have no idea what
like
you're asking.
the fact that my special enduring almanac can sort of I can activate and deactivate the rune to like.
There is no rune
hide.
on this. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
There is
I
instead
figured.
this silver star that has been drawn on the front, and you will quickly notice that nothing about the book is magical, only the spells that are in it. And just a reminder, I do not charge you to write spells into your spellbook, but I do charge you for the materials to do so.
Okay.
Which I know is technically the exact same as the rules, but I will give you one set of materials, and then it can write all those spells in. So you will need to go to the ink person dude and buy a beautiful quill and ink, and I will give you the prices for those.
If I could explain so to
You would have
Zang
seen
here.
us still selling this stuff up there. So it is going to cost you 4 vials of ink to write all of that in, which will cost you 4 gold pieces. You will also need an ink pen or a quill, your choice. An ink pen is 2 copper pieces. A quill is 3. Buy both if you want.
Quill
yeah.
it up.
So 3 copper pieces, and then your 4 gold pieces for enough ink for all of those.
Diego might question why he would need to purchase a quill when Cooper's here standing right next to him.
Because all feathers are not quills, but all quills are feathers.
You could try it, bitch.
Well, I'd be looking at the quill and looking at Cooper and sort of just like.
The feather is a little larger than any feather on Cooper, and you will notice that it is definitely shaped at the end. That's ink.
That's what probably tip him off. That
yeah.
It's more than just plucking of a quill.
That is true, right? You don't have to
like,
turn a feather into a quill.
You have
It's
to
just
shape it and sort of.
It has like a well, right? Like it has like you can put ink in it. Not pour it down the middle. I don't mean like that.
No,
but
but
it has a little
sort of like
bit in it that holds a bit of ink.
Yes,
It will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Showing my uneducated is I've never seen a quill except for a long feather that's actually a biro. You know, those types of quills. Cool, but then he will take you to the edge of town. Before he does, he is going to buy a little map on what looks to be the skin of a seal. I don't know if you've seen a seal yet, but it's like on a thick gray skin that's been dried and cured. It's very, very cheap to write on, basically. And he is going to give you a map of Karak, which I'm sure will make Munch very happy. Obviously, this doesn't come with all the exciting extra things that are written on here. There are a couple of things that I think are in the GM layer that should be in the player layer. Bear with me a sec. That Grung hunting party just appear for you?
No.
I just have a blurry blob.
I have a blurry map. Sort of party token on it.
Yeah. Now I see it normal. It's shaped up.
But... Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the Raiders Bay is where you found we're near the treasure coves, but that's where the actual boats were docked. And the Grung hunting party you actually witnessed, right? That's where they seem to be coming from or going to.
I can't actually read the labels and things. I can see at the beginning of treasure, but
yeah, it's because it's in the dark.
Right. Yeah.
Thank
Raiders
you.
Bay. There it is. Yeah.
Genius method I did. All of that and then send you back here. But he would tell you that far, far to the west is a place called Karak's Delve. If you are, he will do his best to explain that if you are fighters, you could go. And can I just pick you up and drop you there? No, it's going to give you a little view of the way. Okay. You now see the words Karak's Delve over there, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So he will explain to you that over there is a very dangerous place for fighting. And he then sort of gestures again, and I start there when me small, Karak stealth. Now me big, the Cantha. Sister. So what he's trying to explain to you is that some people still live in and around Karak's Delve. And whilst it's a very dangerous place to explore beneath the ground, some people still make their living from basically finding treasure in the top levels of it. And he would go quite a long way to explain that there's lots of shiny gold pretty things in there. And lots of magical things and anything else to try and entice you by telling you there's treasure there. But basically tells you that it's a place where his sister lived that he doesn't know she's there. And then he's saying if you fight and find magic, maybe you find sister. Obviously that is a completely optional mission.
Wow.
Well, we were looking for a
So
goal.
Perhaps
Yeah.
this is how we can
Repeat them.
repay this man.
I mean, yeah, hell, at least with
Is he
these people
asking?
helping seems to be what you do.
Yeah. Is he asking us because he's asking, or is he like,
I'm just gonna do that.
well, we helped you, so you helped me? I don't understand.
No,
Is
he
that
is he. I will say that in this instance, your characters will be able to come to the conclusion that he is merely
Okay.
telling you that this is something that he would have wanted to do, but isn't brave enough, I guess, or doesn't have the ability to do so.
I will ask him. You come?
No fight.
Well, then we're gonna need some sort of like that paper, right? That the other ones wrote for us. We're gonna have to get him to do something because we could run into his sister and that.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're talking about like a
We
letter.
need to know.
we didn't even know what she looks like. I mean, she's small. We got that.
Get on. 5, 6, me, 50, many other. Not many me. Tiefling.
Okay. Chiefly. Okay.
And then he sort of purple. And then he'll point to Cooper's dress, purple. And
I will
couple
do
other
a
things.
spin.
And explain that his skin being it is purple.
My dress, yeah.
No, that his skin, yes, it is purple. Okay, great.
Yes.
Yes, so he would say that my sister, purple. You're not going to find many purple skinned people. Oh, that is a potential thought.
So we can find her, but she won't know who we are, or what we want.
I write for you. I will gladly write you a letter.
Nice.
You don't have to go today, and I'm going to make that really clear. You want to? I would recommend not going today.
Aww.
But a couple of little things. First of all, you will be able to get 30 experience points.
Nice.
And that is for the discovering sort of the lessons and a place to learn the language. As I said, the more time you spend there, the more of the language you'll have. Oh, and you now have a map of Karak. So you can start plotting things on there if you wish. I think most of the places you've seen already, like the landing point, the abandoned hearts, the swamp with the hippo pond, Sahuagin, are already on there.
Yep.
Maybe a few. And then he will also put a few other little tiny things on there. He will tell you that there are some. You have. Does that say something? Oh, is that?
No,
Is there just a
blank, I'm
line?
just thinking.
Yeah, the lines, for example, for some
Those
reason
are-
seem to all be tied together, and I don't know why. But he will point out that there are some old ruins of the old Yuan-Ti town. More safe, still treasure.
Treasure, you say?
More safe. What is that? What you said?
Yeah, than correct stealth.
Then corrects the elephant.
Ah, okay, I get it.
Oh, we should go there.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely visit the Yuan-Ti ruins. You can definitely head to Correct Delve at some point. But if you want to spend a few days preparing and learning the language, I'm more than happy to let that time pass.
Sure.
I think that makes sense.
Is there anything that you guys will be doing? Do I assume that for at least once, Boulder Breast manages to drag you off to visit Hooli?
Yeah.
So at the Rugged Rock, I'm gonna take us inside the Rugged Rock this time, just because I have a map and it's cool. Oh no, I didn't do it. I have tokens for all these little pricks. Let's at least put Jahuli where he belongs. I spent all the time making the tokens and I didn't put any of them in the fucking money. Jahuli, go in your place. Yeah. Oh my god, he's huge.
Ah,
Why is he so big? Down to
Well, look at
size.
him.
No, he's not that big.
He's like the size of an ogre, isn't he?
Compared to us, he is.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah.
a mountain. Like he was bigger than the table. There are a couple of other patrons who are regulars. I will put those in. I think they're all going to be huge. Be with you. Is Binks here yet?
yeah.
Or here?
We can speak the language in a little bit.
Okay. These three are all sitting together over there when you come in. Leonina is sat up here. This is her like playing area. And Stat
Real quickly run
Sits
to the
in the
bathroom.
way of the stairs.
No, it's literally 2 sets of stairs that lead up to a platform.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's sort of her playing area.
thought she was just like being a teenager, lounging in the way.
No, there is a sort of like a sort of rugged mat area, and a seat for her to play at. This is literally the entire purpose of the staircase, is for her to play music at. There are no rooms at the Rugged Rock. This is only one floor. There is a little kitchen out back. Have you guys got dynamic lighting on? Are you seeing like everything, or
We see
Things are-
everything.
See
So
everything.
yeah, everything.
okay, cool. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, so when you come in, Cora, who took you to the orphanage, and Walter, who I think you met very briefly. He's a rather intimidating looking pirate. This guy here.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's the admiral. Cossie, who drew you the picture, but without her fairy friend.
Mhm.
But when you come in, Jahuli sort of, welcome, friends.
People.
Yes, people. You learn new words. Good. Ale, wine, food,
Ale and wine.
ale and wine. Yes. And he will charge you 3 copper pieces.
Cool.
Those are.
What does
those are
everybody
goat
like?
sausages.
Because I will buy.
Whoever pointed to them.
Do they have like any juice?
Yeah, they do. They have juice of the papaya.
I'll have a glass of that.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. I don't know why Layton is playing this fucking miserable background music that belongs in a library.
How much for a juice of papaya?
Juice of the papaya is 1 copper piece.
Cool. What would you like, Munch?
Oh, yeah, definitely that juice.
The juice sounds good.
Yep, couple of copper pieces for juice, 2 for the wine and 1 for the ale. He brings you a foaming tankard of ale into the tankards, and a large goblet of wine. And you can all sit down for the sort of evening and meal. At some point, you will see. Is our friend? Here he is. Okay. You will see Jarzo, whose name you never got before, but him and 2 other wizards come in.
Ooh.
And upon seeing you, they turn to your table and.
Akazam.
You found Zarkantha. Good.
Yes.
You are safe.
Yes. Thank you.
It is most welcome. We are pleased. Good souls. Makes no sense.
Friends?
Friends. friend of my people. He's a friend to all my
oh.
people.
People, yes.
My people.
Where people?
All friends to your people.
Friends of our people.
So what he's saying is
Like,
that all of his people would now see you four as friends.
okay, just us four.
Mm.
Because he said all of your people.
Yeah, all four of you. He knows nothing about any
Okay.
more of your people. But if
Okay,
he
cool.
was to see any more of your people, he would greet them with the same respect that he has you. That's sort of the way that they see it. And he said, may you walk in warm sand. Samas.
Some ass.
And he will go to the bar and comes away with these small pottery cups that seems to be steaming. And all three of the wizards walk away. So just to catch Rico up very quickly, do you remember Jazo, this dude who gave you the letter? Him and two companions have come into the Rugged Rock. They have greeted you and said that he's glad you're safe and that you are friends to all his people. Indeed, he akazammed you. But later, he told you to walk in warm sands and said some ass. Then he went to the bar and he came away with a small pottery cup with steam coming out of it. All three of them did.
Themselves or us?
For themselves, and they will go to walk past you to go out. You've sat yourselves by the front door, so you will see them literally walk through here. And they walk with their strange pottery cups of steam. Cool. Just into it.
Just real quick, Diego, what would you like? We got the ale or wine, and then there's the juice of the papaya, and then there was something else. Maybe there wasn't.
Steaming pottery cup.
Yeah, I want the
there's a steaming.
As they were walking out, I said, I want one of those.
Okay,
Jahuli said of coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah, and coffee is a silver piece.
A silver. I'll buy it.
Yep. It's very difficult to get here, and it's pretty much only kept for the desert people. But he sort of nods and coffee. Yes, I get you.
I'll have a coffee as well.
Yes.
Anyone else like to try a coffee?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Jack doesn't think Munch needs a coffee, but Boulder Breast is definitely happy that you get.
Cooper, do you want a coffee?
Nah, he's good with the juice.
Okay. For those of you who partake in the juice of the papaya, it is very sweet and it's absolutely delicious. Totally refreshing, very iced, and very enjoyable. For those of you who participate in ale and wine, you will slowly get drunk. But it is worth mentioning that when you drink the coffee, especially with your size, you will feel a bit charged. During this time, it's not going to matter, so don't bother putting it in your character sheet. But if you are coffeeing in future, this gives advantage on all dex saves and dex checks, including initiative. But all short rests will take 2 hours, and all long rests will take 10.
Oh.
The coffee.
That's so cool.
I like the idea that Cooper, being this large, is now stood on the stool with his pink dress. Look how tiny he is. That's adorable.
I like to think that he's sat on the chair, but his feet don't even get to the edge of where the seat is.
Yeah.
No. Like a toddler.
Did you have to fly up there?
Much. Yeah, I have to fly up to the table to grab the drink. Probably.
Can you do me a favor? Diego, can you damage yourself? Just do 1 damage to yourself.
Do it.
Do a damage to your character. Yeah, fantastic. And then heal yourself back up. And Boulderus, can you do the same?
Yeah.
I think Cooper and Munch, you do actually have 13 and 15 hit points. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was wrong when I first put myself on here. But
oh, it was. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to update the defaults. So that the next time you guys put your tokens down, they don't show you as having 3 and 5 health, respectively. Josh, do you have 13 max HP?
Nice.
I do.
It was probably updated when you change your token. Cool. Marvelous. Yeah, you're able to enjoy an evening at Jehudi's place. Dinner is a goat meat stew with rice, and it's a bit weird. It's like this sort of floating rice that just sort of sits in the stew. A little unusual, but to your people, it'll be plenty normal.
Now, how much is all that?
I'll say for your entire evening, you can spend, on top of what you've already spent, you can spend 2 silver pieces.
Cool.
Is Jarza still around, or do they take off?
Jarza is sat outside with the other 2 wizards. You can pop out and chat and come back at any time you like.
Yeah, I want to, if I can, go out and take the map of Karak that we were given, and show it to him, and just sort of be like, what go and sort of trace like from where we are to the Yuan-Ti ruins, and then also to the Delve, and just be like, we're going there. It's safe.
Fighting strange creatures. The Sahuagin. And he will show you an image of the Sahuagin that you have seen before. Nasty, mean, dangerous. Your fight is good. He's sort of saying like it's good to kill them.
Right. Yeah, sure.
And then he will tell you at Karak's Delve, strange creatures come out of the sea. And he will sort of very show you with his hands as well. I'm assuming this is the 4th or 5th day since you went to Zamru's place, so he's got enough words to tell you that basically sea monsters infest lower levels of Karak's Delve. And he will basically warn you that the entire island, apart from Zerkantha, can be dangerous. Whilst you may face less enemies, if you go round the beach, you will also find less stuff. That's interesting. I'll give you that as a DM already. Whereas going through the jungle, you will experience more unusual things. But yeah, you're more than welcome to go whichever way you like. He will, however, put something on your map. This is going to be a mission. Need an ellipse. Good.
Ooh.
I need a pen. Pen, good. And I need it in blue. I need to... Oh.
A second one. Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. So you know that the desert people, that is their home. And he makes it quite clear that whilst you can visit, you must remain on the outskirts. You can't come in. It is sacred ground. He'll have a very hard time explaining the concept of sacred ground, but fuck it. After that, you can spend the rest of the evening at the Rugged Rock. Is anybody doing anything else? Rugged Rock.
I wanna sort of go up to Cora and the other two. Now that we know sort of the language a little bit, just meet people. Okay. I'm excited to sort of.
You can speak to Clinks and to. You can speak to Clinks and to Walter. Cora says very little. But you're safe.
Oh, yes. Yes. We are safe. Thank you very much.
Clinks will tell you that Cora grew up. The Xanru's place was our home for many years.
You know him?
Yes. She was brought up there.
Yeah.
For many years she lived there. She stayed. She is thinks he is a very good person. Xanru is a very good person, yes. Cora, she does not speak much.
That's alright. It's nothing nothing wrong with not speaking much. My brother doesn't speak much, funnily enough, even though he's the chieftain. Sort of. Anyway.
Chieftain of where?
Who? Oh, I don't know. Really?
Ah, yes. The chief of nowhere. Woo! And you can see that Clinks is quite happy just to join in with your silly tale. He doesn't really seem to care. But I will take an insight check for the breast.
Okay. I got a 13.
Yeah, Walter seems a lot more interested in the chief of where. But he doesn't ask.
Yeah.
He nods to himself.
Hello there. We're people.
Yes.
Me and my friends.
Yes.
We're people. I just wanted to make sure you know that. I know you know that, but I wanted.
Yeah.
It's good to. I think it's us.
It is good
one
that
of
you
us
can
to
speak now.
Yes.
Speak in words we understand.
Yes. And always looking for more friends. I like friends.
Better friends than enemies.
Yeah. I don't like enemies.
No, not many people do.
I
Will take you
was-
some time to earn my friendship.
Okay. How long?
My friends make me rich. When
We-
you make me richer, friends we will be.
Okay, so when you have a lot of gold, silver, and copper, you will, from us, you will be our friends.
Or other things that are valuable.
Or other things that are worth more gold, silver, and copper. You can tell, like, I have
You
to,
learn
like...
swiftly.
Yes, okay. Like what?
To you very directly. Like a bracelet of shape. You guys call it. Belonging to a princess. A beautiful glass bowl containing many fish that... He describes the many treasures stole from Treasure Cove in great detail. Perhaps if such wares were to resurface on the market, I could sell them without the finder getting into much trouble. Yes, I could.
You just hear heavy breathing.
Huh.
Thanks, looks to you. If you ever want to sneak some of your treasures away without getting a sword in the throat, Walter is your man. Yeah, Walter's a fence. You want to sell stolen goods? He's the man. You want to get
Is
rid of
that what swords are for? You know what they were for?
Swords.
They thought they were-
Swords are for protecting
for
yourself and for fighting your enemies. I slice, chop, chop. I show you. Look. And Clinks will draw his sword and demonstrate very quickly with his beautiful, long, thin rapier, just how deft he is with it.
If we can hear it,
You can head over there, definitely. It's quite
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you tell that to Cooper?
to whoever at the table will.
While wearing the bracelet? Oh, you mean that you're saying told you so about the swords?
Yeah,
Right, okay, sorry, my misunderstanding.
not that I would stayed at the table.
Oh yeah. I thought the swords might be for chopping big food.
Perhaps, if you're killing people that you can later eat.
You eat people?
Not all people, but I have a certain taste for grung. The large
Grung are
frogs.
the big. Yeah, the hunters.
Ah, they taste good when fried.
Would you eat me?
I don't know. I would have to kill you first, and I do not kill my friends. Josh, have you?
So we are friends.
Speaking on mute.
I was more talking to myself. I said, "Oh, typical. The French person eats frogs."
He's not meant to sound French. Does he sound French?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't sound French.
I don't think
He
he's that
does
French.
to me.
All this tiny bit. He's not meant to sound French. He's meant to sound lizardy.
I don't sound lizardy to me.
This very comforting pirate tavern music with no pirates around. Let's save that for more pirates.
So we're friends.
Yes, I think so.
Cool.
Anyway,
Or good.
I like you. You make me laugh.
I like to make people laugh.
Good.
I have a hard time doing that.
Cora has never laughed. Maybe one day you will make her laugh.
That seems very fitting.
She
Cora
takes
has
out her
never
dagger and sort of slams it down between his fingers on the table. It's your words.
I am sorry.
No, she says that to him, very obviously to him.
Yeah, I say I'm sorry anyway.
You are fine. She goes silent again.
You two are very good with daggers and swords.
No, we try. It is how we survive.
We originally thought they were called. We thought they were all called nails.
Right? Why? Why nails?
Cause like we had nails, and like
And they're sharp
knew
and
what a-
pointy and made of metal.
yeah,
Like a
we
dagger.
just thought everything. We just thought
Let's get
that
bigger.
sharp metal pointy things were nails.
Some are not.
I'm gonna go back now.
You too.
Thank you. Okay.
It's a pleasure, friend.
Goodbye. Samas. No, that's not to you. Sorry.
And he's walking away. Love it. Yeah, and as you arrive back, I'm assuming you can inform the party.
Yeah, I
that
say everything that we've
Yeah.
learned.
the stolen goods are known to be missing.
Yeah.
And that man at
that's a
least
good
seems to
idea,
know that
guys.
you have.
I know, and they know we have them. If they know we have them, maybe other people know we have them.
Well, how do they know? Could he-
Diego looks to his wrist.
You're wearing it.
This is no. Found this in the cave. Mine.
Yeah, that's what he talked about.
Oh,
But look at how many friends we have. We're fine.
Remember back,
I
Cooper,
think-
to the pirate party that we're headed to the north with Uncle and his wife, Rona.
Yeah.
There were between 80 and 100 of them.
Yeah, we have a city though.
No, you have
We're not,
people
we're not
in the
friends
city.
with everyone.
Maybe Jahuli at a push.
Because if we're friends with all these people and then their friends protect them,
Upon understanding that I go myself off the break.
Mhm.
I mean, some of the people that we're friends with are doing stuff for us, and some of the people that we're friends with are making us give them these coins for it instead. So who knows what friends will necessarily do for you?
then who knows what enemies will necessarily do?
Oh, by the way, those fish people on the little rowboats, they're definitely enemies. Jazzo says we should kill them.
Well, if we kill our enemies, then it's probably right to say that our enemies kill us. So if we're enemies with Uncle and 80 to 100 of those people,
Not
then
yet,
80
but
to
yes.
100 of those people are going to try and kill us. And
But if if we kill the fish people and the fish people are enemies of the pirates, then our common enemy makes us common allies, and then they would give us the gifts because we're allies, and so nothing bad will happen.
Yes, gift giving, often done before you realize you've done it.
Yeah, retroactively.
I don't know that we're going to completely understand the whole situation, but and I'll point to as Diego has put the bracelet away. Maybe we could just settle for keeping hidden stuff hidden for the moment, right?
In all fairness, it was the only thing I think that you got from that treasure loot that you were displaying. Let's just double check.
Although,
if anyone...
where else we gotten the money?
But he said everything.
Gold is gold, right? They would never think that their gold is your gold, right? But yes.
But if they think we stole one thing, then and also how did these weird animal people get a bunch of money?
Would you like to in the bazaar, sell all your gems?
Oh, really?
You don't have to. You can keep them as shiny pretty
I
things.
think they're very
You can
pretty,
pay with them
yeah.
too.
What do you do with them if you don't? What are they for?
You look at them
They are very
and
pretty.
admire them.
They're quite beautiful.
The
They
aquamarine
just
as
seem
well
like
is
they'll stick
big.
around.
But so, like, it's just a shiny rock.
Wow.
Well, you never know when you're going to need it, and it'll keep.
It'll last forever.
Can't eat it. What are you gonna need it for?
Well,
Perhaps to
maybe you want to look at it somewhere down the. I don't know what it's going to do, but you don't know. That's
You're
the whole
looking at
point.
it in the future.
I think that they play themselves with you.
Was that
You
making
can
a
go
like-
market. You can just look at stuff like that without having to pay for it. You can look for free.
But you
One
just
of the
said you don't
things
know
you-
what good they are, and maybe that's the whole point. You wait until you find out what good they could maybe do.
Munch is right.
Yeah, but I'm just so worried. Yeah, aren't you worried, Munch? You seem like the kind of guy that would be worried.
So just a couple of things. Obviously, you're not wearing the dread helm. And your lantern of tracking is probably in the bag. You can wear the cloaks of billowing. You've seen so many different people wearing these cloaks that you're not worried about them being distinctive. I assume you're not wearing a black velvet mask with silver embroidery, silk handkerchief embroidered with a pale pink pattern, or
Burglar.
thin malachite bracelet anymore.
As been slipped. We gifted the child cloth doll, the little
Yeah.
girl skirt.
You gave that away, didn't you? And you still have the dwarven pipe tobacco and the brandy, because you never know. Okay, cool. As long as you're not displaying
That's
that stuff
different.
outwardly.
That's different. The brandy we can drink. Well, I don't know what it
Don't know
is.
that yet.
Yeah, actually, we have
But it's a
like
liquid.
rancid water.
Yes,
can
but
drink
so was
liquid.
the flask of oil, and the vial of acid, and the and the poison.
Like,
But it's not
I'll
all.
give it
You
the-
don't just drink all liquids. You don't drink the ocean.
yeah, but I give it the sniff test.
All right, yeah. Well, it passes the sniff test.
And I give it the little, like, you know.
And it is very strong and very tasty, and Boulder Breast will probably enjoy it. But yes, unless there's anything else you wish to do in the tavern, we are going to take a
Look.
short break.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Be right back. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Chronicles. We have left the rugged rock, taken a night's sleep, not had a hangover in the morning. Still don't know why. And you guys perhaps were, we find you at just after breakfast, or at the breakfast table, perhaps after the children have disappeared for their, this day they've gone off to play football. It's a Saturday, it's an off day, if you will. And we'd probably find you poring over a map of Karak, wondering what to do with yourselves.
I'm all for helping.
Perhaps we should begin our journey. They I find it.
I assume I see like the light pouring in from the windows.
Yeah, there's windows in here. Sorry, I'm trying to unlag. Everything is just coming through laggy. Yes, you can definitely see light pouring in through the windows. It's sort of 9 o'clock in the morning. Bright, sunshiny day. I do think over the course of the last 10 days or so, if you've mentioned the fact that you might go exploring. Did you see it again?
No, I don't think so.
All the cameras are frozen, or is it just Jack that's frozen?
I think he's just very still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still.
No. Everybody's freezing and unfreezing on my screen. Well, whatever. I'm here-ish. Yeah, I do think over the course of the time that you've mentioned going out and exploring, Zanra would have told you about potentially buying tents for shelter. I don't think you have any tents.
I don't know.
You can either share
No,
a
I don't
two-person
believe we
tent
do.
as all four of you, because you are not big enough to be full people, so you could get all four of you in one tent. Alternatively, you might take a couple between you, and draw straws as to who shares with Cooper. Cooper's probably quite a good person to share with, whereas Boulderbreast, I reckon, snores really loudly. That's where I'm at.
How'd you know?
Yeah, it's totally up to you guys.
How much for 2 tents?
Oh, like next to nothing. Didn't close. No, did I? Dining merchant. No. Tent. Two silver pieces each. So 4 silver for two-person tents.
4 silver. I can cover that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
If this is gonna be a long journey, are we doing like food? Are we gonna...
Yeah, you can definitely stop at some markets and find some more sustainable foods. I think Munch would be a very good barometer for what is going to last more than 2 days and what isn't.
What are we eating?
So there is much to Munch's delight. There are vast baskets of different nuts. There are, but that is mostly so that you can bury them and know where you're going. There are dried meats. There are these sort of flat breads. You've seen almost no leavened bread, no bread that actually rises. You have maybe seen some rolls that rise, but for the most part, all bread is flat. It lasts quite a long time. There are these like rolled. Or how do I explain this? It's like a tortilla that's sealed at either end. So it's like a rolled piece of tortilla or wrap. That's sort of a bit like a spring roll, I guess, but with a thicker bread around it. It's not as thin as a phyllo pastry, and they tend to have like meats and spices in that. And you're told that these are really good foods for like traveling with. What about
Sounds
raw
amazing.
food? Would Boulderbreast buy some raw food to cook up?
That's what I was thinking.
Like some raw food, yeah. Does it keep well?
So there's smoked meats that keep very long. These can still be cooked, like, if you wish, at the time, like heated up, etc. There are lots of different raw vegetables which keep quite well. The yam is absolutely beloved upon this island. Yams translate to American and Australian, right?
Yeah.
Ish. Rico seems.
We don't even all
Rico
use
seems
the
to be
same word for yam.
studiously googling yam. It's like a
sweet
it's
potato,
a little
right?
bit like a sweet potato, but it's not as sweet. Basically, keep it really simple.
Right. Whereas some people here just say yam for actual sweet potatoes. It's confusing.
And like, yeah.
We don't have real yams.
There's also a lot of okra here that grows.
Yeah.
Do we? That might be bindi. If you don't okra, does okra work for everyone?
Oh, I know.
Okay, cool.
Okra works.
It's such a bizarre thing.
Bindies are the little spikes in grass.
They are also known as okra is known as bindi here occasionally.
I thought it was
That's
Steve
interesting.
Irwin's daughter.
Yeah, well, she's named after that.
Oh, wow.
Really? Well, shit.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. I could be talking out my ass there.
There's also lots and lots of coconuts, so you can get coconuts in whole. You can also get coconut milk. There's lots of interesting fruits which don't last long at all, but you would be able to pick them on your way. And there's also lots and lots of unmilled rice, which you can cook. It's a little tough, and they also do ground down rice, which is quite an interesting process. I don't know why I wrote this down, so I might as well tell you about it. It's a stone bowl with a little sort of ball-shaped boulder inside it that is rolled around the bowl with the unmilled rice in it, which sort of mills it, but it's not the same as a proper mill, you know? So it's like big grains of rice, I guess. Fat grain rice is what I've written down here. As opposed to whole grain or long grain. But yeah, so lots and lots of different things that you can purchase. I would say if you spend a silver piece, you can purchase lots of food for the road.
Beautiful.
Food is very cheap in Zerkantha. There is a lot of it because it's only this city, really, that are the people on the whole island. And there's such a wealth of fish that everything else is sort of... There's just so much of it. Food is in an abundance. And even when you notice the people that were struggling for money, nobody was struggling to eat. You know, you saw the woman walking about and feeding stew to everyone. Even those people in the town that seem like they're much less wealthy than everyone else, all seem to have eaten very well. Actually, I would imagine Munch, with your obsession with sort of food not lasting or not being kept or keeping, you would definitely have noticed that at the end of a market day, those things that are perishables, that are imminently perishing, are given away. First of all to the people and then to the animals. But they just sort of...
Makes perfect sense.
Big
Finally,
piles of food are just lobbed out for free. Even though they... Well, it's kind of... They charge for it all day, and then when the sun sets, it's free. Like... Maybe it makes sense, I don't know. But yeah, you guys can kit up for a journey out. Can I have an idea of which direction you might go? So just to make sure you're aware, you cannot pass through or over this mountain.
Well, so how are we gonna go? I don't think we should go anywhere near the pirates, right? That seems stupid.
You're reading my mind.
But, I mean, the Jarzo and those guys, they're our friends now, but we can't actually go in their town. I thought maybe we should check on a boat.
You can pass through their gap, though.
Sure.
They will definitely allow you to wander the outskirts and treat you very safely if you wish to go through there. Just a reminder
just
as well,
less point in going there.
Yeah, this is a settlement you came upon, where you were chased away by a scary man with a sword.
Yep.
Yeah.
But do we think it extends out to the beach at all?
No, you know it does not.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, I'll just sort of go out of character for a second and say, like it seems to make sense to me to go along the beach, back to the boat, check on the boat, make sure it's okay, then go upriver to check out the ruins and kill some Sahagin.
It's sort of like this.
With the boat?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I don't think we can sail that boat up the river.
No?
No, you'd have a very hard time getting that boat up the river, but you do know that on the beach on the beach up the north, you did see some smaller boats. So potentially you might be able to purchase them from the settlement. You could also potentially look into purchasing them before you go, but then you'd have to take the small boat all the way around. That being said, if you're going to go along the beach, you could potentially scull a small boat or even lead it on a rope in the edge of the ocean, if you do want a small rowing boat. There is also something that might have caught your eye, although it would cost you a lot of your money. There is a folding boat.
Oh.
But I just need to look at it. I think it might be out of your reach. Maybe not, actually. You are quite rich.
We're rich, mate.
Yeah, but
We
how
don't know
rich?
we're rich. We're just spending everything. We need.
I looked it up. Bindi Irwin was named
Well,
after the crocodile that is known as the Bindi.
Oh.
Oh.
It's 475 gold pieces for a folding boat.
In currency?
In your currency, yes. It's almost 5,000 in base D&D folding boat. It's very expensive. So maybe not. I thought it might be a little cheaper than that. Cool. You want to just head out along?
Just walk. We walked up the river once before.
Yeah.
Just walk. We don't need.
We all got 2 legs, 2 feet.
That is a strange concept that I do actually kind of agree with. Yes, we do all have two legs, even though
That is true.
we're a badger.
I have little legs.
As you head out along the beach. Oh, where's it gone? That music just stopped straight away, didn't it? Played for like a quarter of a second.
I
I'll
see a
keep working on
white
that.
square. Oh, there we go.
You hear the ocean now?
I remember that.
I do.
Great. Okay, cool. I don't know why it didn't work the first time. I pressed play and it went and then stopped. I was like, all right. Yeah, as you head along the beach next to the ocean, you will note that it's pretty deserted, which is bizarre because you come out of the city and there's like tons of people and then suddenly nothing. Nothing at all. And I'll take a survival check, please, from anybody who is proficient, which I think is just the whole fucking table.
Except Diego.
Oh, except Diego. Great, okay. I'll take a survival check if your name's not Diego.
I got a 5.
That's good. Well done, Boulder Breast.
Wait,
Cooper's got a plus 191 to his...
I know. That's amazing.
No, that's just a +1, sorry.
Okay. So 2 different things here. Munch with a 13. So all the rest is sort of much more interested in the ocean itself and is busy looking out of the sun glistening off the ocean. Doesn't see much of anything at all. Munch, with your survival check, you will notice a couple of things. First of all, you can see the birds are sort of in the distance and behind you, but you see no birds in the area you're in. And Cooper, scuttling about on the ground, with you sort of looking at different things, you find some lovely, beautiful, pretty shells. But you don't see any footprints. And at one point you see just a tiny bit of broken wood just tossed up on the shore. Then another one, and then another one. And quickly you will realize that these are the broken parts of a boat. As you look out to the waves, you will see tiny jagged rocks just poking just below the waters. There is nowhere to land a boat along this shore. So that's maybe one reason why people are not using it. But the birds are avoiding it too.
Weird.
Can hear them cawing in the distance.
Jotho did say the whole place can be dangerous outside the towns. I don't know what's going on around here.
What's going on?
There's no birds. See them over there and back there. But they're avoiding it. We should be careful.
We should be.
They think there is a threat around. Perhaps we are a threat.
Cooper's here. Technically a bird.
Where is this going?
I think I know what you mean.
Maybe he's just not
all right,
smart
all
enough
right,
to stay away.
All right. I'll give him a shield and my warhammer.
All the smart birds have stayed away. Is that the logic?
Yeah. There was just
So draw
no
weapons.
birds were here, and I was confused.
Could I activate my goggles to see if there's any illusions nearby?
I will cast mage armor on myself.
Sorry, you cast mage armor on who and you?
Self and
Cooper.
Thank you.
I now have music and birds. And a picture. Isn't that great? Okay. As you are headed along this river, along this coast, along this beach, let's decide by the dice. Diego. I was trying to work out your names in alphabetical order. I normally have this written down on the side of my screen. I had to literally do it one by one. B, D, C, M. Right, got it. Diego, I will take a Constitution saving throw, please, as you take 1 piercing damage Suddenly, the sand moves. You feel a bite on the back of your leg. This is against poison, if that is relevant. I doubt it.
Beyond just...
It's just showing you the word constitution, like the meaning of constitution when you click it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been having a fit. Just roll me a d20 and add your modifier.
Sure.
I think you can right click it.
No, it's being absolutely shockingly shite recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
12.
Okay, you feel this sort of numbing feeling at the back of your leg, and you sort of limp almost as your leg drags behind you shortly. And as you look back, you see a sort of long yellow snake. Sand snake.
Watch your feet.
You have the poisoned condition, and whilst poisoned in this way, your movement speed is halved. As soon as the rest of you see Diego has been bitten, are we doing anything specific?
Killing it.
You want to just smack that particular snake?
Well, yeah. That's just my initial reaction. Is
Cool, give me an attack roll.
Kill the thing.
I'm a +2, it's right next to Diego.
And then with the +2, that is a 22.
Yeah, you sort of reach the wall, hammer down, and it just splatters outwards. But as you now look at the sand, you realize that these are not the waves that have made these little curvy marks all the way across the sand. There's a lot of snakes on this beach.
Shit. Run! I'm gonna pick up Diego.
Run with Diego over your shoulder? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Which way are you guys running?
Yeah.
Sort of inland, towards the jungle, or just along the beach as fast as possible towards where the birds are?
I wonder if they like the water.
Holding me, like pointing out, just blast firebolts. Like,
yeah, you can firebolt all around you, hit the occasional snake. Joe, what were you just asking?
I was just saying to everybody, like, I wonder if they like the water. Like, I might better run along in the water. But Munch's natural inclination is to just jump a lot. If everybody's moving, he's just gonna like leap, so he's not like on the sand that much.
Cooper, you take flight, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens here is everybody goes really fast, and Cooper slows the fuck down with his 10-foot flying speed in the background. To be fair, you can dash twice per turn, right? As an action and a cunning action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with his roguishness, he sort of occasionally just puts his wings in and does a little dive, and then again starts flapping back up. Yeah, you guys can make it along the beach, and I'll take from each of you just a straight D100.
Ooh.
That doesn't sound good.
You either get bitten or you don't.
26.
You've opted for the get bitten.
I got 24.
Would you still be on Boulderbreast's shoulders, Diego?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if he was carrying.
So it's only Munch and Boulderbreast I need the D100 from, actually, to be fair. Because the other two are not touching the ground. Munch, you got?
81.
Great. Boulderbreast,
Nice.
you've been bitten. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Sweet.
It is against poison. Should that make any difference to you?
Alright, I'll just have to roll a d20 and then add the 4, because, yeah, messing up. That's a 15 plus 4, 19.
Nice. You guys are able to get past the area of the snakes with only the one bite. You sort of reach down and casually yank this snake out the back of your foot and lob it into the ocean, or smack it on the floor, or whatever it is you do with it. And you guys can make it past that area. And come to slightly more.
I'm a honey badger. I'm my natural enemy.
That was the most dramatic music ever. That's not what I'm looking for. My nice little peaceful music. That sounds like a fucking pirate adventure, isn't it?
A bit.
Probably.
Oh fuck it, it's kind of cool. You progress along the beach a little way, and get somewhere that's a little safer. And here you see a lot of rock pools. Is that what you call them? Tide pools, rock pools, whichever whichever word works for you guys. Lots and lots of shallow rocks. Cooper immediately will spot out a few shiny things in the tide pools. Bright shiny, like almost like they've got a light of their own.
Oh, I'm nose diving towards them.
Okay, I wouldn't nose dive into that. It's about a 3-inch deep pool. That's going to end up with a very blunt beak. But you can reach down and pick them up. Which or do you want to pick them up with your mouth? What you were saying?
No, I just meant like I'm gonna very speedily come down to the ground and then.
Of course, you're in the air. Right. Sorry. Yes. Of course.
Yeah.
That's what you meant by nose diving. Sorry, I didn't understand why you were nose diving into a tide pool. That just seemed like a terrible idea. But no, I get it. You're coming down to ground. Cool. And you pick up one of these creatures, and it looks like a snail, but it's glowing. It was in the water. It's glowing a bright color. This particular one is glowing blue, but they do look like a very, very small version of the very big snail that you saw a little tiny grass creature riding.
I see.
Is there a little thing on one of those snails?
No.
Is there a really little thing on those snails?
No, there are not.
So these are just the
Okay.
baby ones.
Yeah, well done. These really are like it's like tadpoles almost to the frogs. These are little tiny flail snails, and they will eventually grow up and head across the beach. And for anybody who knows their D&D will know that flail snails, if you stand in melee range of them, are fucking terrifying. If you don't, they're quite easy to deal with. But yes, these little tiny flail snails are bright, and as you're holding it, it slowly starts to heat up, Cooper, until eventually you have to let go of it. As it gets very, very hot. At the inside of my house.
Could I try and feed it one of my chestnuts?
Your chestnut is the
Coop-
same size as it.
Okay, and what's your point?
Would you eat a human-sized... Yes. Yes, you would. 100% eat a human-sized burger. What a stupid question,
Well,
James.
if your whole method
Well-
of eating is nibbling off the side of something, I guess it doesn't matter how big it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll make
snails eat leaves that are like huge compared to them.
Yeah, but a chestnut's solid, right? That's my
Well,
logic.
I'll cut it up then with my decker.
And one chop
like
up a
crush it.
chestnut? Well, you can crush it, yeah, I guess. Give it a little piece. Yeah, I'm assuming you're now putting it down and feeding it on the floor, because when you were holding it, it got boiling hot.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a little sniff and a nibble, and then immediately moves towards the water. Because that's where it belongs. The water.
Why'd it get really hot?
Give me a nature check. Hold abreast. It gets really hot.
Okay.
How's
I don't know if that's
how's that
appropriate.
intelligence? This is... Yeah. No, you
7.
You haven't encountered any creatures that have natural defenses like this? So
Yeah.
you're not sure?
Because I thought only Munch and Diego and our desert friends Jarzo could like be hot with their fire stuff. But anything can be hot on this island.
Well, your dust methods didn't get randomly hot when you beat them up. Amongst many various other enemies. But you
Munch is
definitely...
ignoring the conversation because he's standing facing away from Cooper, crushing up a nut to feed it to something that doesn't want it. And I'm eating, I'm like nervously eating through way too many of our vegetable supplies.
Oh, it's so good.
Just trying to pointedly ignore the whole
Just
situation.
busting a yam on the corner. Cooper, you would get the idea there's some sort of defense mechanism to keep it safe. You can explain
Sure.
that to the rest.
Yeah, I will as I follow it into the water with the rest of the broken up nut.
Okay, yeah.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
it gets hot, right? Just put it in a thing. Use it as a bullet. A hot bullet.
Like in the slingshot?
Yeah.
That's just mean.
It's a snail.
Ah. How dare you?
We eat snails. I eat snails. I won't eat this
don't
one. It
eat
gets too hot.
snails.
You don't eat snails? I eat a snail.
No.
But I won't eat this one because it'll get too hot. It'll hurt me. But I'll eat a normal snail.
Because if I befriend this snail, when it grows up, it will come and find me.
but that yeah, that's true. You could ride on the back of it, like that little guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good point. Cooper, you're pretty smart. You know that.
I do like a little twirl. I know.
Yeah. As you continue through the tide pools, you will see a few other creatures, including a very, very flat giant crab. It stands about 4 inches tall, and about 2 foot wide. Very flat. It's got a completely flat back. It sort of scuttles sideways alongside you. It does seem after a while that it is following you, or at least shadowing you.
I'm gonna try and.
Is this
avoid it,
another
I'd say.
friend of yours, Cooper?
Might be soon. What did you say, Josh?
I said I'm trying to avoid the crab as I follow all of the snails with like bits of orange and.
Oh, you're just
like,
reaching into the water and feeding random flail snail babies.
Yeah, I
Sounds
get an
like a
army of
plan.
them.
Yeah. You will also be incidentally feeding the odd prawn, the odd little sort of barnacle-y thing.
Yeah.
And
I'll multi-class
these
into a
strange,
sea druid.
these strange I genuinely thought you said sea elf for a second. I was like, he's multi-classed into a race. Yeah, these very large sort of. I don't know how to explain them. They're crabs, but they're the opposite of the flat crab. They're really sort of small, but they're quite tall shells. They're like very tall oval shells.
Okay.
And they seem very excited by the orange specifically.
Yeah.
They eat them. This big flat crab continues to follow you. It moves quite fast.
Quite unsettled.
What, Rico?
That this is unsettling. What did it want?
Just turn
Maybe
and
you
yell
just
at it.
want some.
What do you want, crab?
It sort of scuttles a little to the left and then back to the right. And then moves alongside you again. Doesn't have any words.
I assume, but Munch wasn't sure.
Maybe it's just hungry. Let's give it a snail.
No, I will throw a segment of orange its way.
It does its best very slowly to dodge out the way, thinking of throwing something violently at it. And then it moves towards the orange and then moves away. Seems not interested in it at all.
What a crab.
What do crabs eat? Anybody proficient in nature?
Yeah.
A nature check.
Yeah, I am too.
What do crabs eat?
I got an 18. No, sorry, 16.
Mm-hmm. Other fish and other sea creatures.
Oh, then I'm definitely protecting the snails.
Oh.
Can I
We
try
don't have
to
any fish.
Rico?
try to stand on it?
You're trying to what?
Can I try to stand on it?
I can't get it.
Stand.
Yeah,
Is he only lagging for me, or is he lagging for everyone?
No,
we
he-
can
Nah,
have
he's
some
lagging
cool.
for me.
Because I've been
Oh.
lagging all day, so I don't know like when people are doing their own things. Can you try and step on it? Is that what you want to do?
stand.
Like stand up. Like.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like,
Yeah. When you go to stand on it, it doesn't seem to hesitate at all. It doesn't seem particularly worried about it. And when you stand on it, it continues to scuttle along. It's taking you with it. It doesn't seem to even have noticed your weight. Seems highly unbothered by your presence.
Is it following us or it's going out away?
It's now following the rest of your party, but yeah. You've just found yourself a lazy taxi.
Like this.
This is the weirdest version of Tensor's floating disc I've ever.
I was gonna say I have
no,
because I have Tensor's floating disc. I'm like, why would I use that if I have this fucking crab?
After a while of traversing along the beach, you will see another of these crabs. And on its back is a large creature. It's sort of almost hump-shaped, hillock-shaped, and has little tiny, you call the things that are on the top of an ant, antennae, I guess. Yes, little tiny antennae that are poking out just above the crab's head. And now it looks like one creature. A little like a parasect, I guess, in Pokemon terms, if you're looking for an image. And these creatures are so perfectly melded that they look like they are one creature, but they are not. They are two. The crab with the strange hump-like creature on its back paddles towards your crab, Diego. And if a crab could look confused, it's fucking confused. It has never seen a shape like that on the back of its kind.
If it's giving me sort of cut eye, I will react, but it's just staring confused.
No, it just looks very.
Are you
lost.
looking?
It sort of scuttles sideways and a bit back. And then two eyes open on the hillock-like creature, about halfway up its back. And they blink at you very slowly. And it pokes a tongue out at you. So, tongue comes out, tongue goes back in. Got a long tongue. You didn't even see a mouth, and then suddenly it just parted and the tongue came out. Doesn't seem to have any teeth.
I'll blow it. I will receive and blow it a raspberry.
It sort of blinks twice at you, and then nothing happens. It just tries to do the same thing, but it doesn't have lips, so to speak. Finds it very hard. That's it. And then your crab will begin to move out to the sea with this crab.
Whoa. Where we go?
Probably a good time to step off.
I'll stumble off.
And it goes into the sea, and then moments later, it comes back out with a hump-like creature on its back. A slightly different color. And you would see that it is reunited with the creature that belongs on its back.
I'll hit it and say,
Traitor.
What did you say, sorry?
Traitor.
Traitor! The creature on its back blinks its eyes twice at you and sticks its tongue out at you. The crab says nothing.
naturally.
You may continue. And... Nope, not that map. Where have I put you?
What the hell were those things? Not the crabs. The things on the crabs.
Some mollusk, I imagine.
It was huge.
As
Crazy.
we approach the... Right.
Where did this mouse come from?
No, it's the wrong map. I'm just going to put you on the world map instead. I thought I had a second beach map. I do somewhere, but I don't know what I've done with it. And we'll put your party token just here. As you look inland, you will see that the there are these large sand hills with bits of grass down them. I don't think you saw any sand dunes up on the north. No, you didn't. So there are these large sand dunes. And you begin to hear the chuckling laughter of a strange creature. And as you look over, you see these bright red-faced monkeys rolling down the hill and giggling. Diego, you have been traveling for almost an hour and a half, and you are still feeling the effects of that poison.
I think at this point,
can I-
Diego would be a little delirious.
Delirious.
What?
There's something over there. I'm gonna I'm gonna get my shield out.
Okay. You did meet these monkeys once before. They threw some fruit at you.
Wondered if they were the same.
But at the moment, they seem absolutely lost in their revelry of the game of rolling down the sand dunes. And as the monkeys roll down the sand dunes and Torrin... Wow, haven't done that yet.
What's he doing here?
Diego is feeling a little delirious. I think that's actually what we're going to stop. I think that's just a sensible place to leave it because, yeah, makes sense to me. And we will come to the timeless tradition of MEPs, and I'm going to start because I never start and I like starting. I love the concept that swords are just for chopping up really big food. That gave me a proper good chuckle. We had a fantastic recap from Josh. So, Jack, you're MVP.
Sweet. There's two. Firstly, like, it was really cool the interaction with Xanru at the market when he's like, he realized we were like adults, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are like, you guys are like really, and like that doesn't mean like you won't get tall and stuff like that." That was just a really cool interaction, and I think it like was really cool, like and then just Josh, and then secondly like just Josh going to or Cooper going to munch, try it, bitch.
Yes. To Diego,
right.
to Diego with the quill, yes.
To Diego, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. Rico.
That was funny.
Well, I quite enjoyed my crab journey, short as it was. But
I literally had it in my notes that somebody would stand on the crab. Like I knew that would happen eventually.
Sure. Well, I mean, and it works so well because Diego had just gotten on his foot and didn't want to be walked.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna have to agree with Jack. Say that the realization that we're not children or like themed.
Yeah, I mean, all the beast races they've seen so far, the Tabaxi, the Grung, etc., have grown to human heights. Mm-hmm. So they just assumed you were children and then realized very quickly that you're not at this point. Yeah, Joe.
So one thing I liked, Jarso coming back, right? Like being able to talk to them. But I especially liked the way that you handled the kids not being mad about the dress. Right? Because it made sense. Like it totally made me. It's one of those things where you're like, oh right, I can imagine this completely differently. Like that, it's a silly duck person in a
I hadn't even thought any differently, but I realized after you said it that they could have been furious. That was their clothing.
Right.
Somebody came out, but I didn't even consider
so
that
much about like the pirates being mad about taking our stuff, and here he is rummaging and taking people's stuff again. But it was such a nice way to just divert that in a different direction.
Thank you. It was so unintentional. It was just the only reaction I would have had myself if a duck walked in wearing a dress.
Again, it's one of those things of what's the focus in each different person's imagination of the situation. Right?
Yeah, no, I see that. Josh.
So I can't remember what it was like. What the conversation was actually about. We were discussing something, and Munch was pretty calm about it. And then Border is just like, Munch, you're usually panicking. Why aren't you panicking? And Munch is like,
you're the sort of person who would be worried about this, is what he said. Yes, exactly. It was a very amusing moment. I think just to add one little tiny thing, because nobody said, I wonder if they would, is I love Koopa's new little art. It's very adorable.
Oh, cool.
Little purple dress. But anyway, that is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye.
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 We shall see you soon.